Hey guys, this is Paul from Nihilo Concepts in Stuart, Florida. Today we're going to talk about our separate start-stop button conversion harness for our 2023 KTM and Husqvarna models. Some people don't like the feel of the unified button that comes on the new models. They don't think it's got a positive feel. They don't think it's very tactile. So Nihilo Concepts came up with this separate start-stop button conversion harness, which is very easily installed on your stock harness. Okay, for the installation, the first step is you want to remove your number plate. You use a 6mm socket. Plate is off. You want to locate your start-stop button connector. In this case, it's going to be this big square connector right here. Next, you proceed to separate the connector by pushing down on the tab and separating it. The next step is to remove your OEM start-stop button. For that, you're going to use a T20 Torx bit. And then you need to use an 8mm socket to remove your throttle housing. Once you remove your throttle housing, you cut any zip ties holding your start-stop button harness. And then we proceed to install our Nihilo Concepts separate button harness. Typically, the starter button is the one with the black button in the center, and that goes on your right-hand side. You loosen up your clamp, install it, and don't tighten it yet. Leave that for last. Now we move on to the left side, where you're going to install your kill switch. That's the button with the red collar. It's recommended to route it under the handlebar, so that way you can zip tie it towards the clutch pressure line. It protects the cable a little more. You want to undo your clamp. Install the clamp side that has the threads in it in the back side. Install the clamp that has just a hole on the front side. That way, the screw goes in like this. You want to snug down your screw until you feel a little bit of resistance. That way you can locate the switch at whatever angle you desire. Once you find your comfortable position, go ahead and tighten up. Now we proceed to install the throttle hub on the other side. The next step is to slide your throttle back on your motorcycle. Make sure you don't bottom out against the handlebar. Always leave a little bit of space between it. So once you go down to where it bottoms out, go back about 1/16 of an inch. That allows the throttle tube to spin freely. You tighten it down. Always check your throttle after you tighten it down, with your steering all the way to either position. Once you finish this, you want to set the correct angle for your start-stop button. In this case, this is our start button. That. And you tighten it down. Keep in mind, on this side, there's a little nut in the back. The other side has a thread built into the clamp. This one has a little tiny nut. So you can kind of hold the nut with your fingers while you tighten it down. You may have to use a small pair of pliers or something to hold the nut in place. This one feels pretty nice and tight. As an option, some people like to install the buttons away from the throttle on the other side of your brake perch. You can do either or. Once your start and stop button are installed, you want to route your harness properly. I like to go behind the brake line. Use some zip ties to secure it. The next step is very important. On your OEM switch that you had previously removed, there's a blue plastic insert that has to be removed. Once you remove it, that has to be installed on your new Nihilo Concepts harness. That'll allow for the new harness to clip onto the motorcycle's wire harness. In order to remove this insert, you kind of need a third hand to hold the piece in place while you pry it open. You can probably do this. Take a fat zip tie temporarily to your cable. Now you want to use 2 single-edge razor blades. What you want to do is you want to insert one on one side, one on the other side, pry away from each other. The insert comes right out. The last step before you connect the harness is to put a little bit of dielectric grease for added protection. As simple as that. Now you want to go ahead and clean your connections, install a couple zip ties, make sure to leave enough room for the steering to turn, and you're ready to go. I want to emphasize on the importance of this procedure right here. It is not difficult by any means, but we want to make sure that you do it right. Remember, you have to remove the blue insert that's in your OEM switch that you are taking off your bike, and you're going to transfer the blue insert to the Nihilo Concepts harness. You want to use a couple of razor blades. Insert one between the housing and the blue insert. Your second one diagonal to it between the housing and the blue insert. And you pry away from each other like so. What you're doing is you're releasing these 2 little tabs in order to pull it out. As soon as you get this off, take your Nihilo Concepts harness and make sure that your rubber gasket is there. All you got to do is transfer it, pop it in, push it down, lock it in place, and it's ready to be plugged into your motorcycle, just like that. And just like that, guys, your Nihilo Concepts Separate Start button conversion harness can be installed in less than 5 minutes. You can find it at nihiloconcepts.com. Thanks for watching.